Bay County, Florida, single family home real estate market report. We're talking Panama City Beach, Panama City, Florida, Lynn Haven, Callaway, you name it, Bay County, Florida. Let's jump into it. I'm Sean Casilli with Coldwell Banker Realty, and you're watching the YouTube channel Bay Real Experts, where we aim to educate you on the local real estate market so your next move can be smart. Let's jump straight into it, you guys. We're going to be looking at September year-over-year stats. So overall, we have an average sales price that increased by 16.11%, and the average list price, or for the ones that sold, up 16.55%, which is healthy. That's a really nice appreciation ratio there. So if you take a look at the sold number of single family homes in September, last year we had 368. This year, only 280. So there's almost 100 less sales of single family homes in Bay County, Florida, year over year as of September. Now, as far as the selling price, average sold price went up from last year. So September last year, 365,000 and change. We're up to 424,000 on the selling price for single family homes. Now, one thing that really changed for the first time in 2 years, check this out, you guys. We're going to talk about the sales price to list price ratio. If you look at, and let me pop this on screen for you guys. By the way, if you guys want a copy of this report, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Just check that out. And if you do decide to download it, please just give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. That really helps out the channel. Just every time you do it, it helps out the algorithm. More people get to see it, and we appreciate it. So if you look at this on the top, well, let's see, the top graph here, the black line represents the percentage of sales to list price, and that's a ratio there. If you look historically from left to right, in October of 19, around April of 20, and then August of 20, we did dip down to about the 96% sales price to list price ratio. But then, for the next 2 years, we didn't see that happening. So historically, sales price to list price ratio usually hovers around 97 or better. Check out what happened all the way to the right of the chart. You see that last dip there? That was August of this year. First time in 2 years that it's dropped below 97%. We got back into 96.5. Well, what does that mean? That means there were some sellers that were motivated to sell. They just were testing the market or overshot it. Maybe there was some disappointment. Maybe the buyers were educated and had a good offer that was presented, a fair market value. Here's another graph that I want to share. Average asking price, sold and unsold price. The bottom two lines there, the solid blue line is the asking price. The dotted blue line is the sold price. So this correlates with that sales price to list price ratio that we're talking about. See how closely you probably are having a hard time seeing the differentiation between the lines, because they're often very close. As we just talked about, up to 97% or better is generally the average. And that's healthy. You see all of those that sold. Look at this black dotted line, though, that is right above it. If you look from left to right, the gap is getting bigger and bigger. This chart starts from October 19th and it goes to last month. So over on the left-hand side, we see the pricing. So looks like the sales price to list price ratio is for the ones that sold are, between the 250, 300 mark on this chart. And then after we get to about the 400,000 mark, we're starting to see a lot of unsold inventory. But pay attention here to this difference that we're talking about. That gap is getting wider and wider and wider. Now that's fine if this is what we call make me move pricing, where you're just off in Never Never Land and your property's going to sit on the market. It's almost like people maybe want to list their home for sale just to see what happens, maybe for the fun of it. I don't know what the motivation might be, but that's fine as long as you have an expectation that you may not sell your property anytime soon. the important part is if you are a seller that's overpricing your property, this can be damaging to you if you really do need to make a move. We're seeing a lot more overpriced inventory hitting the market, and that is affecting the next two numbers here. We have our absorption rate and we have our month's supply of inventory. They're kind of closely correlated to each other. But if you look at the bottom graph, our month's supply of inventory as of right now, it has been growing over the last year. So we're now up to about a 3.5 month of supply on single family homes. And our absorption rate is still hanging out in the 3s, but look at this trend. Ever since about February, March of 2022, we are on this upward trends of our absorption rate going up to 3. Once we start hitting 4, 5, 6, if it continues this way, 6 is probably going to be shifting into a complete buyer's market where sellers are going to have to get more aggressive about being competitive with other offerings out there to attract buyers to their potential offering. So if you guys would like a evaluation on your home and you want to see what your home could currently sell for in this market, we'd love to help you out. If you don't have an agent already, please give us a call. If you do have an agent and you want to maybe reposition your property, I encourage you to reach out reach out to your agent and see what their opinion is about repricing your property if it hasn't sold in the last few months. Because if we look at these trends, it looks like for single family homes in Bay County, it's only going to get tougher, at least until something changes. All right, you guys, if you appreciate this information, please give a like. Give me a subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I will catch you guys on the next one. By the way, the algorithm thinks that you're going to like this video here or here. One of these here. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.